yeah, it'll be no more than an hour. So like by 2 o'clock, we'll be wrapped up and stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and get started.
All right.
All right, hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of the My Virgo Friend podcast. Your host CheChe here. I hope you're having an awesome day so far. We're back with another amazing guest, Miss Dr. Patricia Chuck Miller. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, CheChe. Thank you for having me.
Yes, and you are our first Aquarius queen on the show.
What?
We're representing the standard. So cheers to that straight off the gate. Cheers to you being here, Dr.
Cheers, boo.
Can I just call you Patricia? Dr. Patricia, what would you prefer?
Of course. Patricia, Patty.
Patty. Ooh. Okay, well, I may just bounce around between all the names. Patricia, at the beginning of the show, we always start with some sound bowl too. So we're gonna go for 4 deep breaths. Inhaling through the nose and exhale fully through the mouth, you guys. So let's take a deep inhale. Breathe in. Very nice. And let's take a sip in gratitude. All right, you guys. So like I said, we have our first Aquarius queen on the show. So before we dive into what makes the Aquarius women so dope, let's get to know our friend Patricia. So again, Dr. Patricia, thank you for being here. Please introduce yourself and just tell the people what you want us to know.
So as CheChe says, I'm Patricia Miller. I am a nurse practitioner, and my specialty is nephrology, which is kidney disease, right? Fancy name. But outside of my 9 to 5, I also own a IV vitamin hydration spa. And it's amazing that you started with Sound Bowl, because moving away from my 9 to 5, I'm moving more into wellness. So I'm into the business of keeping people well. Yes, not maintaining their illness. So that's one thing about me. The other thing is I am Aquarius. I guess that's a air sign, right?
It is air sign. Yep.
Yep. So I'm an air sign, and for a long time, because Aquarius sign is a water sign, I always thought I was a water sign.
Right, because it's referred to as the water bearer. That's the symbol.
Right. So for a long time, I was like, okay, I'm in tune with water. I love going to the beach. I love that stuff. It must be because I'm Aquarius. But then I found out recently, actually, since I've met you, that I'm an air sign. And I'm like, what?
Because like the symbol look like waves, you know?
Yes. And apart from that, I am Jamaican. For your audience who are Jamaican, shout out Mayadi them.
Hey, cheers to the Jamaicans listening.
Right, I am Jamaican. I moved from Jamaica to the Bahamas early in my nursing career. I lived in the Bahamas for 2 years, and then I moved to Florida. I did my master's with Florida Atlantic University, and shout out to FAU. Right. But apart from that, I just love serving. I find the most fulfillment in serving people, and I don't think it was a coincidence that I became a nurse. And outside of work, I volunteer with an organization called Shepherd's Hope, which serves the uninsured and underserved population of Orlando.
Right.
So because of that, I also, through my hydration spa, I also see people who have lost their insurance last year because of COVID.
Right.
So I see them at a very low cost, sometimes no cost at all, just to be able to refill clients' prescriptions, their kids' prescriptions, because a lot of people are going through so much because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
A lot of us, it's not just economical, it's emotional for a lot of people. it's physical for a lot of people. I see a lot of patients who come in and they're like, I gained 10 pounds, but it's because of COVID.
So now you're watching even more Netflix.
I know, right? I'm like, no, it's because of stress or you eating what you're not supposed to eat. But it ain't COVID. It ain't COVID. It's because you're not moving about and doing things and being sociable, and you're just being sedentary. So a lot of those things, I do love to educate my clients. It's something that I think if people know better, then they actually do better.
Agreed.
Yep.
Great.
So that's it. I don't know what else you want to know about good old Patty.
Did you tap into the CBD?
Oh, yeah. How can I forget that? I know, right? So back in 2019, I was diagnosed with a brain tumor, and that kind of led me into the medical marijuana realm of medicine, because I wasn't the type of person who was going to be on opioids for pain post-op.
Yeah.
So prior to my surgery, I basically became vegan because I wanted to lower all of my inflammatory markers. Yeah. And we all know that going more plant-based, we lower all of our inflammatory markers. So I wanted to heal and get out of the hospital as soon as those two surgeons were done, evicting my tumor. But post-op, I did tell my neurosurgeons that I won't be taking any opioids or narcotics for pain, and that I would be self-medicating for pain with medical marijuana. Now, because of the benefits that I know medical marijuana offers, I did become a consultant for patients who are seeking a safe alternative to opioids as well as narcotics. Right. Now, medical marijuana is used for a lot of things: sleep, anxiety, depression. I have clients who have debilitating headaches, parents who are suffering from Alzheimer's. I have HIV patients who just can't keep anything down. So medical marijuana help them with nausea as well as their appetite. And same thing goes for patients who are cancer patients as well, going through chemo. They aren't able, their appetite is poor. They're having nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, all that good stuff. So medical marijuana is a whole other shebang. But a lot of our clients who come to us, they do work, and unfortunately, marijuana federally is still illegal. So your workplace have the right to say no, no, no. But for those patients, we typically recommend that they do high doses of CBD if they would like. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, you just do so much, Patricia. Pat. We did throw out each name, okay? Because I'm so used to calling you Patricia, but yeah. Okay, cool. So we're gonna go back to the CBD in just a little bit, but I still want to tap into you and you being the Aquarius woman you are, and just getting your understanding of astrology in general. Like, when did you become introduced to it? What were your thoughts on it? All that stuff.
Well, for me, astrology, I don't know if they have it here because I haven't actually read a newspaper here, but in the islands, they have a whole section dedicated to astrology, right?
Yeah.
So I could say that, yes, in my early days, I used to read my little Aquarius thing and go, oh, yeah, I'm going to have a great day. Oh, damn, I'm not going to have a good day, right? But I seriously became more interested in astrology maybe, I want to say, a year and a half ago, when, man, adulting, it ain't fun. Adulting ain't fun.
Stressful.
So yeah, so when the stresses come on, you have to find very good outlets. You could take care of your body and you could look good. You could take care of your hair and it feels good. But if you're not taking care of your mind, that's a whole other thing. Yeah. And I find that astrology mixed with mindful activities like yoga or meditation, then it becomes a whole lot more meaningful. Yeah. I'm not an expert on it. I can say I'm a student, but I do find that doing mindful activities, changing your mindset, doing deep breathing like you just did with us, you can do that anywhere, in your car, on a toilet break, whatever it is. And those things really do help with reducing stress.
Yeah.
And I recommend that to all my patients all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I mean, I can increase your medication.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can put you on a new medication in addition to the 10 medication you're on.
Yeah. Right.
But if we don't nip it in the bud, like what it is, get to the root of it, then you're going to forever be on those medications. You're forever going to be dependent on them.
Yeah.
And you're still not dealing with the issue at hand.
Exactly.
So I like to give patients tools, which is why I became so much more interested in it. Because if I'm going to recommend it to you, then I must believe in what it's doing. I must have experienced it. Therefore, I can say to you, this works and this is how it's done. Right. And this is why you need to do it.
You can actually speak it. It's like, it's because you're walking it. You can talk it because you're walking it. So like on that same note though, because you mentioned with your experience with the brain tumor, you were adamant, with you being a healthcare provider, saying, hell no, I'm not getting on those opioids because I see what it does to people. Could you elaborate more on the opioid epidemic and if that's still a big problem?
So unfortunately, Florida tends to be one of those states that, yes, there is an opioid epidemic. Okay. And I don't know if it's because more elderly are retiring here. So they have more arthritis, they have more pain, aches here and there. And of course, we write a prescription and they go to their next doctor and they tell a doctor about that one and that doctor writes another prescription. Yes. And then, unfortunately for the elderly, they become junkies, for the lack of a better term. They, even young people too, not just them, but the older people, they're more susceptible to it because they tend to see more doctors, and yes, there are things that they have put in place, like we're supposed to, as healthcare professionals, check the registry. So say, for instance, you come to me, CheChe, and you're like, oh, doc, I need this prescription refilled. I'm supposed to check when was the last time another physician wrote a prescription for you for an opioid before I write that prescription. Mm-hmm. So there are things in place within the last 2 years to help to cut down on this epidemic of, the overuse of opioids and narcotics. But patients will be patients. Uh-huh. The ones who want to work the system will work the system, because when you go to the hospital, it's a whole other thing. Yeah. So there are increased admissions for pain because they aren't able to get it from their regular physicians. Right. Yeah. So unfortunately, yes, it is something that is real. And we're happy that we are one of the groups of physicians that have taken the mantle to prescribe medical marijuana for patients. Right. Because they're able to come off of so many other drugs. Their sleep med, their anxiety med, their depression med, a lot of their pain meds. And it has increased their quality of life, because the side effects that these pharmaceuticals have are debilitating. Yes, it takes your pain away, but you're sleeping all day. You're not able to enjoy life with your family. Right. Whereas you take a particular cultivar of marijuana, your pain is gone, but you're awake. Exactly. You're actually able to get up and go walk, go play with your grandkids, go play with your kids.
And like the kids be having seizures and stuff, like when they take the oil, how they just calm down and not have as many seizures.
Yes.
Like that.
So yes, and that is actually a CBD based marijuana that they've used, called Charlotte's Web. If anybody out, yes, Charlotte's Web. Uh-huh. Charlotte was its name
after the girl, right?
After the girl Charlotte, and unfortunately she died, I think, last year. Oh. But she was able to live out her short life being so impactful, and that's because her parents were so persistent in finding something that works for their child. They even had to move from one state to the next state just because the state that they were in would not allow them to use cannabis on their child. Yeah. And it's something that has saved their family and has saved thousands of other families over the world. Yeah. And not just children, adults, because adults do suffer from seizures too.
Yeah.
And it's been life changing for people who suffer from epilepsy. Life changing. Parkinson's is the same thing because it does help clients with Parkinson's as well.
With the tremors.
Yes, tremors, and it helps with memory as well.
With with bringing them like having better memory.
Yeah.
That's funny because they usually say like with smoking weed you become like forgetful. So that's interesting that you say that it can help with memory.
Yes, which is why it's important for a lot of patients, a lot of people who come to us to become certified. They don't want to be high.
Yeah.
Right? People who seek out marijuana form as a medicine, they don't want to be high. Yeah. So they will come to us to titrate their dose, to guide them. Start low. How long have you been at this dose? What is it doing? Is it taking care of the issue that you're taking it for? Maybe for a few hours. Okay. There are thousands of different strains of cannabis, and every single strain is able to help with something different. I had one patient who every time he comes to the office, he's like always like, I can't believe you guys cured my headache. He has something called a cluster headache. And yeah, cluster headache is described as it's like someone's constantly stabbing you in your eye. One of your eye. Ooh. Yeah. People have committed suicide from cluster headaches. Okay. They'd rather die.
Yeah.
So this guy lived with cluster headaches for about 20 years. He has gone through research projects with universities just to get relief from his headaches. Yeah. And a week after using medical marijuana, no headaches. And he was able to remain headache free even off of cannabis for a whole year. Yeah. Which is when I saw him again this year, because he's like, I think they're coming back. So I need to renew my card. Yes. He's like, I need to renew my card because I think they're coming back. And funny, when he came to our office, he wasn't the patient. His mom was the patient because she had dementia. Okay. And they wanted to keep her calm in the evening time because she would have sundowner syndrome. Okay. Where she kind of get confused and crazy in the evening. Yeah. Yeah. And it usually happens when the sun is going down. That's why it's called sundowner syndrome. But they came to us for her. And then during her consultation, he was like, well, maybe this could work for my headache. And we're like, most definitely. So he ended up becoming a patient because of his mom. And then his headaches were, seeing this guy when we met him compared to seeing him now, it's almost as if he's found the fountain of youth. Wow. No pain. He's able to sleep better, able to eat better, lose weight. It's like a whole cycle. It's like it is an entourage effect. You're sleeping better, you're eating better, you're gonna look better, you're gonna feel better, you're gonna be more active. Exactly. Plus, the added benefit, it makes you feel good. So you want to.
What's entourage benefit? Is that what you call it?
Well, I laugh because there is something in the cannabis world called the entourage effect because of the different chemicals in the plant. Okay. Terpenes, CBD, CBN, THC, you name them. They have about 100 different chemicals in any cannabis plant. So all of those things together create an entourage effect. But I said entourage effect, meaning for him, it was the perfect storm kind of situation where his headache was better. And then he found benefit in other areas of his life as well. So, I mean, cannabis, it's underrated.
How soon do you think, do you think Florida will have just legal anytime soon?
We are working on recreational use for Florida. Maybe in the next 2 years, keeping our fingers crossed. But for most people, we will still have people who come in who wants to be certified because they want to be guided by a medical professional. Yeah. There'll be young people who will be like, and go do it themselves. But majority of people who want it for medical purposes are more than likely going to seek out a medical provider. Yeah.
So Patricia, also it's of course Valentine's weekend coming up. I know hopefully you and your boo got something planned. Go spend some time together.
He better.
Hit doggone it.
He knows this Aquarius woman, so he better.
What are the Aquarius women like, Patricia? What do y'all like? We have our ideas, but from an Aquarius queen, who are you? Who are y'all?
Who are us?
Yeah, who is y'all? Who is you?
Man, that's a deep question. That's a deep question. Are we talking about gifts now?
Just anything, just in regards to the Aquarius, because I see y'all as very ambitious, the humanitarian thing you said.
Yeah, we are.
Help people sharp with the tongue, I would say.
Oh Lord.
Help.
Yes. All of the above. All of the above. I have been accused of being alpha female, and all the things that go with an alpha female, right?
Assertive.
Not that it's not a bad thing for those of your listeners who are alpha females. It's never a bad thing. Own it.
Yeah.
Not because you know what you're about, you know what you want. You go after it. Mm-hmm. You become obsessive about it. Mm-hmm. You tell people to move them out of your way because you're going after it.
Energy.
Right? We, for myself, I would say, I always tell my husband, I don't care what people are going to say. Mm-hmm. This is for me.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it for other people. I'm doing it for me. Like, I don't care. As long as I'm not hurting anybody, I'm going to do it. Right? So yes. So we do go after what we need. And, we're fun. We're just fun.
Y'all are.
We're the life of the party.
Y'all are like Aquarius women. They just elbows in the air energy,
That's right. We listen. I've remembered, back in the days when we used to go out.
Come on.
I would always tell my girlfriends when we go out for their birthday, I'm like, you're not gonna enjoy your birthday. Count on me, sis. I'm gonna enjoy your birthday for you.
We all need friends like that. Like, make sure I'm having a good time.
Yes, you need to have a good time. Like, we don't know. Tomorrow's not owed. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow's not owed. I always say, people say, we only live once. You have it wrong. We die once.
We die.
We have the opportunity to live every single day.
A word.
Yes, and then there's so many people who they're dead. Yeah. They're walking dead.
Walking dead, yes.
They're walking dead.
On stuck
because of comparison, because of social media, whatever the hell is keeping them stuck. But you choose to be stuck. You choose to be stuck. Yeah, becoming unstuck, that's something personal. You have to, everybody, listen, and don't expect the Aquarius lady to stick around if you stuck.
Y'all got things to do. Hey, bye.
Listen, if you can't figure that out, then
are y'all quit to cut people off?
Not really. I'll give you a first, second, type of. I'll tell you what I think you need. But if you're stubborn, it's like throwing seeds on concrete. Then I know when to call it a day kind of situation. And people are allowed to make their own choices too. I'm not into the business of trying to change people.
Okay.
I think that's a personal choice for everybody. Like, what you decide to do is your personal choice. Yeah. What I would like you to do is totally different, but your personal choice to change or to address the situation, freedom.
Now, what would you say will be like the shadow side of Aquarius people? Like the unevolved shadow side, not necessarily cons, but like the other side. Patricia, can you still hear me? The screen has frozen if you can hear me. Oh. Okay, she'll come back in just a little bit. So listen in. We're chatting with Dr. Patricia Chuck Miller. She is giving us the rundown on the Aquarius people, the Aquarius women, what they are like, and yeah, just helping us to get acquainted with that. We're gonna give it just a little bit to see if she's gonna come back in here. But yeah, I invited Dr. Patricia on because not only is she an Aquarius queen, but also just to talk about, just health matters. We all need to be reminded of. Oh, there she goes. She's back. Yeah! Get the soul. Oh, you're muted. If you can hear me.
Was it me? I never thought it was me. I was like, CheChe, that's CheChe.
What happened?
I don't know what happened. It says unknown error.
Okay. Yeah, like the screen just froze.
Ah.
But it's all good. It's all good. So, in case you didn't hear me, I was asking. So, we got like the positive traits of Aquarius. What would you say is like the shadow side of Aquarius?
Well, I hear they're impatient. I don't know.
Well, I got somewhere to go now.
I don't know. I heard that they're impatient people, they're too frank, they're blunt, blunt people. Yeah, but I don't know. That's all I gotta say about that part.
That's it. But we need that bluntness at times. Like different energies and emotions and reactions, are needed depending on what the context is.
Yes, so most definitely. Yeah, I think some people need it. Some people don't know that they need it. But for us, I think for Aquarians, I think we need to be mindful of being blunt but being tactful, kind of thing.
True. Isn't that how you say it?
Exactly. I'm working on that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What other things have you heard about them Aquarians?
Well, I know for the men specifically, I know the Aquarius men that I've gone to become friends with, they have like asshole humor. Like they'll say something that's like really mean, but it's funny because it's true. And it's like, right. Why would you say that? Like out loud, like that's hurtful, but I agree because it's hilarious. Yeah. So I've just noticed that like, with the Aquarius men, like, wow, you're an asshole, but you're telling the truth.
There goes that bluntness again, right?
Like sometimes people aren't motivated to change until you like keep it
exactly
raw,
exactly, keep it real. And I think that kind of helps me as a professional in the medical field as well, because a lot of times we don't level with our patients. Like, dude, if you don't do this, then this is what's gonna happen. Like, yeah, if you don't change the way you're eating, then I can add a couple more medications and you'll still have a heart attack 2 years from now, or you'll still end up on dialysis 2 years from now. Am I really taking care of you if I don't tell you? See what I mean? So it comes in, handy sometimes.
Yeah. What other zodiac signs do you tend to attract or you vibe well with?
I vibe very well with Leos and Virgos.
Lucky me.
I know, right? Virgos are special to me. Very special. Aww. Very, very special. I tend to gravitate a lot to those signs. I don't know why, or them to me, but.
Oh Lord. Okay. So, I don't know why they limited me to just 40 minutes because there's only 2 of us here. But I didn't upgrade my Zoom. Oh, dang it.
What?
I know. Dang it me. So we have 10-minute countdown going on. But I did want to talk to you about stress and the heart and manifestation and any thoughts you have on that.
So, it's good that we've been talking about stress throughout. Stress in itself tends to bring on a lot of chronic diseases, mainly because of inflammation. Stress causes inflammation in our body. Stress causes the release of very bad hormones like cortisol. Yeah, cortisol is one of those hormones that make you get fat in your midsection. and you just can't lose it because it's just cortisol. However, the caveat to that though is if you exercise, your body releases good hormones. Yeah. If you exercise early in the morning before you do anything else, your body would have released good hormones. Those receptors will be filled with good hormones. So even later, if you become stressed and cortisol gets released, then guess what? It has nowhere to be received. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Right. So heart disease, because of the cortisol and all that good stuff, stress tends to make us stress eat. Some people stress eat. Some people tend to do things that they wouldn't normally do, like go out drinking, or some people they do things that make them feel good. That's not necessarily good for our health, right? You stressed, you get depressed, you don't want to work out, and it's a cycle. So yes, you tend to have worse off health. If you already predisposed to high blood pressure or diabetes, then that becomes even a bigger mountain to climb, right? When stress is in play. And then yes, it's the silent killer. It really plays into everything else. Stress, I think, is one of those things that if we can really radically decrease stress in our lives, if we know how to do that, then we're definitely on the road to wellness. Everybody's going to always have stress. We're the best of us, the most wealthy person has stress, right? So how do we cope with it? How do we keep our stress levels at a manageable place in our lives? Then yes, that becomes, and we've been talking about it: yoga, meditation,
breathing,
exercise, eating food that's gonna contribute to our health, cutting off of animal products and animals, and eating more fruits and veggies, fresh things, food that is alive. So,
okay, yes. It's gonna bring
right?
Yeah.
One of my patients said it the best way the other day. She's like, man, after I saw you and we talked about going plant-based, I opened my freezer and all I could think is, it's a cemetery in here.
Yeah, just a fridge of death. I was like, wow, I can't unsee it now.
Yep. I'm like, okay, that's a good way to put it. I'm glad I got through to you. That's good. That's good. So yes, you wanna do things that are gonna contribute to life, to you feeling better, for you to increase your quality of life. Yes. Yes, you could. There's a place for medications. Yes, I 100 agree. But the goal is always to get off of those medications. Yes, they're helping here now. I need it. But what am I going to do to ensure that I don't need it much longer?
Right.
That's where we are. And just mindful things. Being in the presence of people who bring out the best energy in us, identifying things in our lives that cause us stress.
Yes.
And be willing to change those things, because not a lot of people are willing to change the things that are stressful.
Yeah.
They aren't.
Some people don't like to let the stress go, because then they're not a victim anymore. They're not
exactly
paralyzed in that, oh my God, I don't know.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's uncomfortable.
Exactly. And it's like those people who get kidnapped and become, great friends with their kidnappers or whatever, it's the same thing.
Like the Stockholm syndrome.
What am I going to do if I'm not stressed out?
My whole identity is being stressed,
Exactly. So I would say for stress, definitely do mindful things. For me, I for a lot of my clients, I recommend 1 or 2 IVs per month, because just increasing your essential vitamins, detoxing as well. Those are the things that will help you internally. I do coach my clients on nutrition, exercise, the importance of doing those things. And what else? Yoga and meditation monthly at the new moon.
Right. Yes. In Aquarius.
Yes. What I want to do in the near future, COVID, yes, I'm gonna jump on blame the COVID bandwagon now. Because of COVID last year, what I wanted to do was have like a health retreat. Yes. Yes, like a whole weekend where we talk about food, we talk about relationships, we talk about zodiacs, yoga, have yoga sessions, meditation sessions. Yes, and it's more of a ask me anything at that point. We could be candid. We could do medical marijuana and all those great stuff. And yes, I wanted to do it out of the country, back home in my island. But with COVID and all of these new travel restrictions, more than likely, I'm looking forward to having it here in Florida. So keep your ears open. I'm definitely going to let you know, keep you posted. More than likely, you're going to be one of my people on my panel.
Please and thank you. I'm already manifesting it. Thank you. We're on the same page.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
right.
Patricia, for these last 2 minutes, plug yourself. Let us know how we can, get in touch with you and your final messages.
So you can find me on Instagram at Patricia_Chuck Miller or the blunt_NP or Thrive Thrive Hydra _spa. And my phone number 407-405-7616. You can hit me up. As I told you previously, I do a lot of pro bono type of healthcare consultation, or if you do not have insurance, I do a lot of cash concierge type of medical services as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
I appreciate you so much, Patricia.
I appreciate you.
And that is so funny that you said the blunt MP, because like weed, but also Aquarius is being blunt,
It's a package.
That is so cute.
Yep. Thank you.
Yes, it's Valentine's week, you guys, weekend. So you heard Dr. Pat. Don't be stressed out. If there's anything weighing on your heart, let it go. Live through love. Love yourself. Self-care. This is the weekend of self-care, you guys. And the little countdown.
That's right.
Disappeared. So any minute now, it's going to cut off. So I guess we'll go ahead and get off now. But,
all right.
Dr. Pat, I want to have you again in the future because I don't know why it's cutting me off. But
hey.
Maybe because it was more
love you.
Point, but I love you so much. Thank you for your time.
Of course, love you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. And thank you guys for tuning to the My Virgo Friend podcast. Bye-bye. Thank you, Pat. Talk to you soon.
You're welcome.